Hello and welcome to episode 13 of our Fast Fact series. Today we're talking about a legal doctrine that grants immense power to corporations by stealing it from we the people. The Dormant Commerce Clause. The Commerce Clause of the U.S. Constitution grants broad authority to Congress to regulate commerce among the states. When Congress exercises its power to regulate interstate commerce, it simultaneously forbids the states and local governments from regulating those, usually corporate, activities. Over the years, the things regulated by the federal government have proliferated, and they aren't all commercial in nature. Many environmental laws, for instance, are based in the Commerce Clause because, even though there are only horizons in front of us, it's argued that rivers and birds and forests and bears all cross state lines. Even some of the biggest wins for the civil rights movement, like non-discriminatory transportation and housing laws, were easier to enact by claiming they were matters of commerce than by anchoring civil rights in constitutional change, as is routinely done for corporate rights. And here's where a new constitutional doctrine that amplifies the central government's power to dictate policy to states and municipalities was invented by the U.S. Supreme Court, the so-called Dormant Commerce Clause, aka the Negative Commerce Clause, aka that thing the Supreme Court made up because they could. The Dormant Commerce Clause prohibits states from discriminating against interstate commerce, that is, making laws to protect the state and municipalities from, for instance, the importation and disposal of toxic waste from other states, even in the absence of federal legislation regulating that activity. Fun fact, the Dormant Commerce Clause is not actually a clause of the Constitution. The courts interpret the U.S. Constitution's authorization of congressional lawmaking over interstate commerce as having a meaning at odds with what the words of the Commerce Clause say. The dormant part of the Commerce Clause, miraculously discovered by the Supreme Court in between the lines, amounts to this: that even when Congress has not acted to regulate an activity, the state and local governments are prohibited from enacting laws in that area because, who knows, someday Congress might. It's sort of the heads I win, tails you lose clause. All it takes for the federal government to strip every state and local government of the authority to regulate corporate behavior in their jurisdictions is for Congress, or the court, to define that behavior as commercial in nature, however tenuously, and claim exclusive federal regulatory power over it. For more info, head over to celdef.org. A special thanks to Ben, our national organizer, who helped put this together. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, don't take legal advice from a YouTube video.